Thank you very much. Thank you to members of the media for coming today. I have called this press conference to address the matter of the video the party said it was looking into 2 days ago on the 17th of July 2023. The video suggested an inappropriate exchange between MP Mr. Leon Perera and Ms. Nicole Seah. I understand that there have been questions about the fact that certain members of the party, including myself, MP Sylvia Lim, Gerald Giam, Dennis Tan and James Lim, knew of the allegations involving Leon Perera and Nicole Seah. I will deal with this matter. Sometime around late 2020 and early 2021, I was informed by Leon's driver through WhatsApp that Leon and Nicole were meeting very often at restaurants and hotels and had been seen hugging each other and holding hands. There was no evidence or corroboratory information to support the allegation. I do not know Leon's driver personally. Upon receipt of this information, I asked Leon whether anything was going on between him and Nicole. Leon confirmed that the allegations of his driver were untrue. Leon also shared with me that he was in an ongoing dispute with his driver and was about to terminate his services and had sought legal advice on the allegations of his driver. Over the course of the next few months, Leon's driver also shared substantively the same information with other members of the party. The media has named Sylvia Lim, Gerald Giam, Dennis Tan and James Lim as the individuals Leon's driver communicated with. When they received these messages from Leon's driver, all of them sought to verify these allegations with Leon. Leon told them that there was no truth to these allegations. Separately, other CEC members also approached Nicole after being informed of the same allegation by Leon's driver. Nicole confirmed to them that there was no truth to the allegation. When the video of Nicole and Leon emerged on Monday, that was the first time all of us saw it. Upon viewing the video for the first time on Monday, 17th July, I immediately contacted Leon and arranged to meet him in the afternoon. I also arranged to meet Nicole separately the same afternoon. Both of them admitted that they had an affair, which started after the general elections of 2020, but that it had stopped some time ago. When I met Leon on the afternoon of 17 July, he acknowledged that he should have been more forthcoming when I and other party members first approached him about the allegations made by his driver. The party CEC, or Central Executive Committee, met on the evening of 17 July to discuss this matter and to come to a decision. On the 18th of July, I received Nicole's letter of resignation from the party. I have received Leon's resignation letter effective today, and he has informed the acting Speaker of Parliament that he was resigning his seat in Parliament. These letters are in your media pack, which will be given out after this press conference. The Constitution of the Workers' Party requires candidates to be honest and frank in their dealings with the party and the people of Singapore. Leon's conduct in not being truthful when asked by the party leadership about the allegations fell short of the standards expected of Workers' Party MPs. This is unacceptable. Had he not offered his resignation, I would have recommended to the CEC that he be expelled from the party. From the moment the party was made aware of the video, we moved as quickly as we could, bearing in mind that we needed to be fair to everyone, get to the bottom of matters, and put things right. And we did so. I would like to request all Singaporeans to give both Leon and Nicole the space to heal and to be with their families and their loved ones. As you can imagine, this must be a difficult time for them. Ms. Sylvia Lim will now speak on the transition and handover arrangements in Aljunied GRC in Leon's absence. Sylvia.
Thank you, Pritam. Okay, first, let me say that Aljunied GRC MPs are collectively responsible for all the residents of Aljunied GRC, including those living in Serangoon Division. And for now, please let me share some brief details of our handover arrangements reached thus far. First, on the Meet People sessions. The Meet People sessions in Serangoon will go on as usual at the two locations at Serangoon North and Serangoon Avenue 4. Aljunied MPs have already been rostered till the end of the year to man these sessions in Serangoon. As for the other duties and groundwork, we will be meeting with the Serangoon team of volunteers shortly to work these out. I myself am familiar with the ground in Serangoon, having been MP there for 9 years prior to my current assignment. Should any resident of Aljunied GRC, especially Serangoon, require to reach out to us, they can do so by email at aljunied@wp.sg. aljunied@wp.sg. And finally, please let me assure, especially the Serangoon residents, that the party will use its best efforts to make sure that you are well cared for. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretary General and Chair. I will now call upon some publications to pose your questions to Secretary General and Chair. In the interest of time, please identify yourself and your publication, and please ask one question only. We will open up if there's more time at the end. I would now like to call upon the Straits Times to ask that question. Thank you.
Can you please raise your hand because we don't know who, yep.
Hi, Jean from the Straits Times. We actually had asked when the party leaders knew about this and whether or not it was as early as 2021, which I think you've answered. But can we check what other action did party leaders take besides asking Leon and Nicole at the time? And why, could you explain the reasoning why these other actions were taken or why not?
Jean, is it? Hi, Jean, thank you for your question. As I mentioned in my statement, there were two critical factors which determined the decision-making process of at least myself and some of the other individuals that spoke to Leon. Number one, there was no corroborative evidence to support the allegations that were being made. Secondly, it was a single source who was an employee of Leon's whose services were about to be terminated. So in our judgment, it was most appropriate to speak to Leon directly, and the answer that he gave me, which I read out in my statement, suggested to me that that was where I was going to let the matter rest. However, had there been a different or new element in the matter, for example, some corroborative evidence or another source that came to confirm that this is an issue, then I'm quite sure the party would have taken a different course of action. But the circumstances were as such, and we proceeded along those, along the lines that I've pointed out in my statement.
Thank you. I would now like to call upon Channel 8. Can you please identify yourself? Channel 8.
Hi, Mr. Pritam, polling from Channel 8 News here. I'd like to ask, if not for the video that has been public, were you actually prepared or planning to make this kind of relationship known to the public? And also, why and why not? And if you were prepared to do so, when would that be?
Polly, I think that question is probably a little overtaken by what I've shared in my statement. Clearly, the circumstances were such that the video was not the video or even any other evidence was actually not known to myself, and I can say not known to any of my CEC members because I asked that question to them in the course of our fact-finding process over the last few days. So I can't speculate on what could or could not have happened, but certainly with corroborative evidence of what was alleged, I'm quite sure the party would have done something different and confronted the members concerned, and perhaps even pursued other channels to corroborate that information. But we dealt with the situation, as I explained in my earlier answer to to Jean from the Straits Times, and that was how we made our decision on this matter.
Thank you. I would now like to go to Wake Up Singapore.
Where are you?
Yeah, hi Pritam and Sylvia. Basically, what is the party's internal guidelines or framework when it comes to dealing with such issues generally?
Sorry, Arifin, right? Arifin, I think these matters really turn on the facts of each case. It would be speculative for me to go into a hypothetical scenario, but certainly I think this is not a course of action that the Workers' Party can encourage, and it would have to be put to a stop. But because again, I don't have relevant facts of a hypothetical matter that you're raising, certainly it was not acceptable for this to continue, and certainly party members who have their own families and loved ones, I think they will tell you that this is not how they should be behaving.
Thank you, Arifin. I'd now like to go to the Independent Singapore, Obana.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
I'm Obana from the Independent Singapore. Since this matter came to light, were Leon's and Nicole Seah's families made aware? And also when they were confronted, Leon and Nicole, how did they react since both are married?
Well, I can share to some extent what were my conclusions when I spoke to them on Monday. I think obviously they were disappointed in themselves. They were disappointed with the pain that they had caused. In Leon's case, for sure, the pain that he had caused his family members. In Nicole's case, she had approached her loved ones earlier to speak about the matter, and she had been resolving the matter earlier, and the process of healing started with her much earlier, after the affair ended. So I don't want to go too much into their feelings and their families and stuff, but what I would reiterate is that I can imagine being in their shoes. I think most of us who are married can, and it would be a very, very difficult time for both of them. The family is a crucible of strength for all of us. So I think I want to be careful about what I say, and I would just want to end off by saying that I hope that the family finds strength, and I pray that they are able to move on with their lives.
Thank you. I'd now like to call upon Zhao Bao, Lianhe Zhao Bao. Can you please identify yourself?
Too soft.
Use the mic.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Chun Hing from Zhao Bao.
Sorry, I didn't get-
Chun Hing.
Chun Hing.
Yes.
Chun Hing, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
My question is, so out of the 21 candidates that WP fielded in 2020, you have lost 3 of them in a span of about two years. Do you think your screening process for candidates is flawed, and will you be contesting less seats in the next GE? Thank you.
Sorry, the second question, do you think...
Will you be contesting less seats?
Oh, wow, okay. On the second, I'll deal with the second question first. I think it's a bit premature for me to comment on general elections and how many seats we're going to contest. But in terms of screening processes, look, we try our best to put good candidates forward, candidates who can represent Singapore and Singaporeans well. This is something that we've consistently done, we've consistently tried to do, and we will continue in that vein going forward. But certainly, it's you make decisions at the material time when you're fielding candidates, and you try your best to find out as much as you can about those individuals. However, you cannot legislate for what they will do after they become candidates. I think once you know that there are certain issues that have come up, then in good conscience I cannot field them as candidates again if I am aware of those facts. So that would be my answer to you.
Thank you. I'd now like to call upon Mothership. Is Mothership? Thank you.
Hi, this is Shahinda from Mothership. Hi, sorry, I'm a bit short.
No, that's all right. I didn't mean to suggest
Yes,
that.
so of course, this incident comes after Raisa Khan's resignation. So how will the party regain trust and confidence from Singaporeans?
I want to be a bit cautious about referring to the Raisa Khan episode because that's subject to a live investigation. But I think more generally in terms of trust, look, the important forum for the Workers' Party in gaining the trust of Singaporeans is Parliament. I think Singaporeans expect the Workers' Party to hold the government to account, to make sure that we don't have a one-party dominant state that is overwhelmed or overwhelmingly in the hands of the PAP. And we have to continue to work hard to encourage and persuade good Singaporeans to come forward and be part of a balancing force, which is in Singapore's interest. We are a better and a stronger country with a good opposition. And I'm not specifically referring to the Workers' Party, I'm just saying opposition in general because I don't want to, blow the party's trumpet. But I also note that we continue our work on the ground in the town council, wherever we are the duly elected members of parliament. And we continue to advance the party's agenda and interest in other constituencies where we're not incumbent. We will continue to do so. And we will do so with a balanced approach in Parliament. We are not in the business of making wild allegations and not being able to support them. I think we think very carefully about what we're putting forward in Parliament. That will continue, and that must continue. And I think that is a key method through which we assure Singaporeans and convince them that we are worthy of their vote.
Thank you. I'd now like to call upon Tamil Murasu. Tamil Murasu, if you're here.
Sorry, where's the Tamil Murasu? There you are.
Hello, sir. I'm Mona Lisa from Tamil Murasu.
Sorry, I didn't get your name.
I'm Mona Lisa.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so after this incident, right, where the party's guidelines will be improved or further, will it be more stricter from now on?
I think it's quite similar to the earlier question about candidate selection that was asked by Chun Heng, right, from Chapa. Certainly, I think every episode that happens, there is always going to be a moment of reflection for the party and how you can better processes. It happens on an ongoing basis. But what I would say again is, we make the best decisions we can at the material time when the candidate is considered or is being considered, and as much as I can, as much as my colleagues can and the party can, we will try to be as rigorous as possible within the means that are available to us to put forward individuals who will fly the flag proudly, and I mean the Singapore flag proudly, and be effective parliamentarians in Parliament.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'd now like to call upon Rice Media, if you're here.
Hi, I'm Kimberly from Rise Media. My question is, what are your thoughts about the coincidence of the video circulating on the internet hours before Speaker Tan Chuan Jin and MP Cheng Li Hui announced their resignation? Thank you.
It's anything that I say now will be speculative. I don't really enjoy speculative narratives given my position, and I don't want to encourage speculative statements in public from any of my party members, and I would be very concerned if we went down that road. But I think the fact that you're asking the question suggests that it's on your mind, and I think you're not wrong. I think it's on a lot of people's minds, but I leave you to draw your own conclusions on the, how should I put this, uncanny coincidence vis-a-vis timing. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd now like to call upon Berita Harian. Berita Harian, can you identify yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Duha from Berita Harian. My question is, in light of Speaker Tan Chuan Jin's resignation for being involved with a fellow PAP MP, and also this matter involving WP MPs, what is your comment about the matter on how both matters actually impact the credibility of Parliament?
I won't comment specifically on what is happening in another party. But as far as the WP is concerned, our approach to be a rational, responsible and respectable party whose members carry that credo into Parliament continues. I think we have always taken a measured approach, but not an approach where we recoil from difficult issues in Parliament. I think we have taken them on. We will continue to take them on. But we do it sensibly, and we do it in a way which gives Singaporeans confidence that you can have an effective opposition and you can have a government that runs the country, both coexisting at the same time and serving in the interests of Singapore and Singaporeans. That's what I will say for the Workers' Party.
Thank you. I'd now like to move to Today, Justin.
Hi, this is Justin from Today. My question is, did the way that PAP handled the Tan Chuan Jin affair mean that WP had to take a similar approach with asking party members to step down, or maybe them offering the resignations, especially given that the WP leadership did not act or make public any actions on the matter, despite having some knowledge of it some time ago?
Let me correct your characterization of your question towards the end. I believe my statement would have put that into perspective. Could you repeat the first part of your question?
Yeah, the first part is just about whether the way PAP handled the Tan Chuan Jin affair, did it mean that, I think you said that even if Leon Perera didn't, if the members didn't offer their resignation, you would have also recommended it. So did it also mean that WP had to take a similar approach, given that PAP went this direction as well?
No, the reasoning is different. I think I would have recommended that Leon be expelled from the party if he didn't offer his resignation. The reason is not because of what happened, because of the affair. The reason was because the party has an article in its constitution that it holds very, very close to its heart, and that is of being frank and honest as a party member, in his particular case as a candidate, a former candidate, in your dealings with the party and the people of Singapore. And if you fall foul of that, then the consequences are severe. So it is not so much when you prefaced your question with Tan Chuan Jin and the affair. Firstly, I'm not talking about the affair. I'm talking about not being upfront with the party leadership when the question was asked of him, when the allegations were going around. There was a duty to be frank and honest to the party. And this is how we have to convince Singaporeans of their faith and confidence in the Workers' Party. If it happens to us, Leon Perera is probably, I'm not shy to say it, and you will see it in my letters, my exchange of letters with him. Leon Perera is a highly, highly effective MP. And I think Parliament, I'm speaking for myself, I beg your pardon, the Workers' Party in Parliament will lose an important member of our team. I leave it to the public to determine how effective Mr. Perera has been in Parliament, and I think he's been very effective. He's been excellent on the ground as well. But there are other things that we cannot ignore, and standards that have to be kept, and party discipline is incredibly important if you want to be a serious party in advancing the interests of Singapore and Singaporeans. So that's how the decision was made. Maybe we can take, do we have?
If you want, yeah.
Maybe we'll take two more questions.
Sure. Sorry, I see Kimberly. Maybe we can go to Kimberly.
Hello, I'm Kimberly from South China Morning Post. So like you mentioned, the resignation of Leon is going to be, you are losing an important member for the team. So moving forward for the party and the next GE, might be too early to say
We don't know.
Yeah, but what's the strategy and how will you build, confidence from, this incident moving forward? Thanks.
Thank you, Kimberly. The search for candidates is always an ongoing process. And I think it ought to be clear that, we look for good candidates to stand for the Workers' Party who bring something to the table. This will continue. That will not stop. There are already people working the ground, walking on the ground, doing their house visits, engaging Singaporeans of all walks of life. That will continue. And I hope that more than a few of them will be prepared to stand for the Workers' Party in the general elections whenever they are called. Last question.
Sure. I think that lady with the phone, Wayne. So maybe, maybe you can go to her. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jia Hui from Xinmin.
Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Jia
I do
Hui.
apologize.
Yes,
Jia Hui.
Yes,
Thank
from
you.
Xinmin. Yeah. So can we have a clearer timeline? When did the both of them ended their relationship, and whether if they know when and where is the video taken? When was the video taken?
I do not know when the video was taken, where the video was taken from. In terms of when they ended their relationship and when it started, did you ask when it started also?
Yes, a clearer timeline.
As I put in my statement, it was shortly after the general elections of 2020, and it stopped some time ago. Now, I don't have a fixed date, but it had stopped shortly thereafter.